Yes, yes, yes. Today we're going to talk about how to make your first 10,000 from trading. Now, in order to do this, you have to master these three things. Number one, the right system. Number two, execution. Number three, consistency. Now let's look at the first one, having the right system. What is a system? A system is basically a combination of different things that come together to achieve a common goal. And that system repeats the same results over and over and over. That's the key, guys. You want a system that repeats the same results over and over and over. If you just look around the world, you will see a whole bunch of different systems, okay? If you see someone build a house, they are using a system. How do you think they are able to build the same house over and over and over? Because they are following a blueprint, a system. Your body is a system. It repeats the same thing over and over and over, right? If you put food in your mouth, you have your teeth to break down the food. Then you have your saliva to make the food wet so it goes down your throat, right? And then once it hits your stomach, you have your stomach acid to break down the food. And once the stomach breaks down the food, it basically distributes the nutrients that you need. And then we just get rid of the waste. And that happens over and over and over. Again, that's the key to a system. Even the world that we live in is a system, right? We have winter, spring, summer, fall, every single year. It repeats itself. So when it comes to making profits, guys, you can't rely on luck. You can't rely on your memory. You have to have a system. If someone is consistently making money, it's not luck, okay? Stop thinking that it's luck. Stop saying, oh, that person is lucky. No, that person has a system, and that's what you need. So your system should include risk management, a checklist, the right time to trade, the right market to trade, and the right strategy to trade, okay? That should be all a part of your system. So let's go to the chart real quick so I can show you guys a quick strategy and how to just come up with a strategy so you can actually repeat the same results over and over and over. Now, the best way to come up with a strategy, guys, number one, you have to back test, okay? So let me give you a strategy right here. So right here, we have a trend line, okay? So the strategy is we are looking for two levels to line up, okay? So we have right here a trend line plus supply, okay? Or you can have demand if the market is going up. Okay, if you don't know anything about supply and demand, I do have a supply and demand video explaining supply and demand in 10 minutes. Check that out. Now, right here we have supply, aggressive selling, okay? And plus we have a trend line lining up. So we have two levels. And when you have two levels lining up at the same time, you have a strong level. Now, how are we going to get in? Okay, if I zoom in, we have a nice rejection bar. So let's say that's one of your entries, okay? You are looking for a rejection, some type of wick that the market forms so you can get in the market. So let's say that as soon as we see that wick, you get in the market. Let's say you want to put your stop loss above the zone, right? And you're looking to go for the low right here, okay? So this is your system right here. You have your take profit ahead of time. You have your risk ahead of time. You know how much you want to risk on that trade. You know what trading strategy you want to use. Now it's all about executing and make sure you take the right trade. We're going to talk about that later. But let's say that you're getting good at, recognizing the strategy and you're doing good. You're starting to make profits. Two things you want to do with your trading that can help you get your first 10,000 that you want, right? So first thing you can do is look to size up more, okay? When you first size up more, you don't want to just size up. Let's say you're risking $100 a trade. You don't want to jump to risking $500, no. So what you can do is instead of risking $100, you can actually risk $120, okay? And this is only if you start to see profits and you're getting good at your strategy. Now, the second thing you can do is you can look to see how you can actually hold your trade longer, okay? So those are the two things that can help you build up your account and help you get to your first $10,000. Now, let's talk about executing, because it doesn't matter, if you have the right strategy, you back test, you know the strategy works, it doesn't matter, guys. Listen, if you don't execute the right way, you're done. You're not gonna make it. So you have to understand that when your setup comes, okay, you have to take the trade no matter what, no matter how you feel. Doesn't matter if you feel like the trade is not going to work. Take the trade because it's a part of your system. Now, if you are having trouble executing, there are three main reasons, okay? Number one is maybe you have an incomplete strategy. So you're not too sure when you are trading. You're like, I think this is something I'm supposed to do. No. You have to have a complete strategy, okay? Number two, you are risking too much. So let's say that, for some reason, you're risking $300 to trade, and you know for a fact, if you lose that $300, it's gonna hurt you, right? It's gonna just damage you. So if you are risking a lot, of course you're gonna freeze up. Of course you're not gonna take the trade, because automatically you're thinking, man, what if I lose this $300? So the best thing to do is size down. Instead of risking $300, maybe risk $20 on that trade, or $10 or $30 on that trade. Risk a small amount first so you can actually understand that this works. And then the third thing that's probably hurting you when it comes to execution is not having enough reps. So let's say that you see a setup, you take it one time, and that first time was a loser. Do you think you're gonna have enough confidence to actually take the next trade? No, because you don't have enough reps. You need to trade that exact setup 100 different times. And once you get used to trading that setup and understanding the market and doing that setup over and over and over, you're gonna build enough confidence. As soon as that setup comes, you're gonna take that trade no matter what, because you are used to taking that trade. Because now you know what to do. You know that, sometimes you're gonna win, sometimes you're gonna lose. But overall, if I stick to my strategy, I'm gonna make money, okay? And the only way to do that is you have to take a lot of trades. So a lot of you guys probably don't have enough reps yet. Actually, let me read something to you guys that I received last week. I know what the issue is. I see the right trades every day, but I am just not executing them. Only later I realized I would have hit my target. If I simply execute them, my win ratio is about 70%. Okay, so you have a trader right here that says that he understands his strategy, okay? So remember, it's three things that's probably holding you back when it comes to executing the right way. It's an incomplete strategy, risking too much, and not enough reps. Well, it seems like he has a complete strategy, so that's not the problem. So the next two problems could be he's risking too much, or he don't have enough reps. So he's probably freezing up because he's thinking about the losing part of trading. He's not thinking about the winning. So before he takes that trade, he's thinking about, man, what if I lose, X amount of money? It might hurt me too much. So the best thing for him to do is to size down, okay? Size down and get used to taking that trade over and over and over. Build enough reps so you can get used to that strategy, get used to your setups, and that will help you build your confidence. And that leads us to the next thing you have to master is consistency, okay? You have to do the right things over and over and over. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, guys. You can't skip a day, okay? Of course, we are human. You might mess up, here and there, but for the most part, guys, you need to be consistent. You can't basically be consistent Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Thursday you mess up, and that can actually cost you your account. Maybe take half of your account away, or maybe you might blow up your whole account. So you have to be on top of your game every single day. You have to have that consistency, and you have to keep doing the same things over and over and over. This is why, again, we go back to the first thing, having the right system. The system is going to remind you what to do, okay? So that's why you have your checklist, you have your setup, you have your risk management in place, you have everything in place to remind you, I need to do that. And once you have that, guys, you have to do everything the right way Monday through Friday. So those are the three things you need to master if you want to make your first $10,000. Now let's talk about the 5 different stages you have to understand in order to actually become a good trader, because some people just really don't understand this. Now, the first stage is the learning stage. This is actually when you first learn, and it's best to learn from a person that's actually doing this and actually making money from trading. Try not to do it yourself. So learn first, okay? Second stage is testing. So you're gonna take whatever you learn, you're gonna test it out, get good at it. And then the third stage is actually building experience, right? This is where you start to, trade your strategy live, start to build that experience, start to get used to your strategy live. And the fourth stage is actually the profitable stage. This is where you start to make money, okay? Could be, a little bit, it could be a lot. So you had that profitable stage, and then the fifth stage is the growth stage, where you are trying to expand and trying to grow your trading, maybe size up more, maybe add some more setups to your trading and do different things like that. And the reason why I'm talking about these 5 different stages is because a lot of people want to rush. They don't understand that trading has different stages, okay? Some people might be in the testing stage and they, depressed. Listen, you probably still at stage 2. It's okay. Just, relax, understand that you are stage 2 and keep working. Listen, guys, when it comes to this business, slow is fast and fast is slow. So what do I mean? Let's say on average, you're gonna make 2 mistakes per month. Now, it could be more, but let's say you are gonna make 2 mistakes per month, okay? Now, let's say 6 months pass. That's 6 times 2. So we're talking about 12 mistakes, okay? Now, let's say that you try to rush this process. You try to skip steps, you try to do things the wrong way, right? Guess what? You're actually going to create more mistakes on top of your 2 mistakes that you are averaging every single month. So instead of averaging 2 mistakes, now you are averaging, let's say, 8 more mistakes. So instead of 2, now it's 10 mistakes. So let's do the calculation, guys. 6 times 2 is 12, okay? But if you actually add on 8, which equals to 10 mistakes per month, instead of being 12, 10 times 6 is 60. So you have 60 mistakes you are doing in 6 months. And that's going to slow your process down just because you're trying to skip the steps and you're trying to rush. So slow is fast. You want to do the right things at first. When you do the right things at first, that's going to help you make your first $10,000 because you are doing the right things first. It's slow, but still, you're doing the right things, and eventually you're going to build momentum, and boom, next thing you know, man, I just made my first $10,000. So that's how you do it. And if you really want to learn what it takes to actually become a full-time trader and trade for a living, make sure you look at this video right here. It's going to show you what to look for if you want to trade for a living.